gonna be reading chapter 12. Go big or home, guys. Okay. Sorry about the mistake. I named the other one another one. Sorry, guys. But okay. Let's get into this. We're never going to forget this. From the museum, we headed straight home and started shooting baskets. I had so much on my mind, I wasn't very accurate. After I changed 3 in a row off the rim, Quinn said, "Hey Brady, you still feeling that electric, whatever it is?" "Some of the time, not all the time." "You know what? I want to see if you can dunk." "Get out of here, Quinn. That's impossible." "I'm not kidding. The way you vaulted over that buffalo yesterday, I wouldn't put it past you. The buffalo's about to kill me." "That was adrenaline." Quinn flipped me the ball. What's to lose? Give your best shot, Brady. Whatever you had yesterday, maybe you still got it. He had me wondering. Truth was, I was buzzing like I had my finger in a light socket. To actually jam in front of Quinn would totally blow his mind. His head would go flying off his shoulder. I went to the corner of the concrete apron, dribbling a few times, then started towards the basket like an NBA star at the slam dunk contest before the All-Star game. I accelerated as I went off the last step. I got major air. It was beyond beautiful. What a rush. I slammed it down in a vengeance. That was sick, Quinn cried. "Do it again." And I did again, and again, and again, each time differently. "Stuff it." King kept yelling, "Stuff it, Brady, enough." I said, finally. My heart pounded like thunder. That was crazy. That was insane. You're 5'6". There was a 5'6" guy in the NBA who dunks. You're 14 and he's got muscles. I'm telling you, you're a mutant. Hey, knock it off, Quinn. We have to start thinking about high school career, Brady. When do you achieve your dunk? They'll think I'm on steroids and not the kind in my inhaler. Let them test you. You won't find anything. We're keeping this under wraps. Quinn, you gotta promise me you're not telling anyone. I mean, anybody. Even your dad. It's way too strange. Quinn wasn't going too keen on it. I made him promise. I knew I could count on him. We've always kept each other's secrets. So what are we going to do next? Brady, it's still morning, and we've got world to conquer. Got any ideas? How about the Halls of the Dead? I've been wanting to explore it. The Halls of the Dead was the name Quinn had given to the cave we discovered the summer before I'd been hopping. He wasn't going to bring this up. It had been skin-crawling, spooky, and we hadn't gotten that far in. Maybe later, I said. We could climb, Harney. Mount Harney is only 4 miles from my house. It's the highest peak east of the Rocky Mountains, and it's sacred to the Sikhs. Every spring, more and more of Lakota Sikhs were coming back to the Black Hills and climbing the mountain for a ceremony they call welcoming back to the Thunders. No sail, Quinn said. We've been up there a bunch of times. What about fishing? I've never seen you turn that down. Maybe if it's something we haven't tried before. We haven't ever caught lake trout at Patica. We've tried from the shore. We don't have a boat. Remember? I know we can get one. I countered, thinking. Wait, guys, this is the page I was just on. Sorry. His powerful and mysterious ways. When he was about my age, he had a vision. He saw himself changing into battle on a spear horse. The bullets were whistling all around him. They could never touch him, and they never did. Bit by bit, the mountain is turning into Crazy Horse, the warrior at the front of every fight, symbol of courage, nobility, and resistance. Crazy Horse was the leader at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. When George Armstrong Custer and his men got famously rubbed out in 1876, Corrick went to work in 1948 for years. He did all the drilling, blasting, and mucking alone. An insane amount of granite had to be removed before he could begin, and on the actual statue of the museum, you can see old films of him work on the mountain as his son's enough to see even the face completed. His family careers on more than 1 million people visit every year, and they donate enough money to keep the dream alive. When it's finally done, the statue of the Lakota chief on his war horse will be bigger than Rushmore. It's be as long as a cruise ship, as tall as 60-story skyscraper. Crazy Horse will be pointing into the distance. The gesture come from a moment in history, a year after the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Crazy Horse Band on the verge of starvation, and the last herd of buffalo had been killed, so the Indians wouldn't have anything to eat. Crazy Horse came to it for it to listen to promise about food and blankets. That when he did, he was taunted by army officers. So where are your lands now, Crazy Horse? Crazy Horse pointed to the horizons and said, "My lands are where my dead lie buried." As soon as Crazy Horse saw they were going to put him in jail, he resisted. He was held from behind, and they ran him through his beyond. Crazy Horse was still young, only a couple years old, over 30. Quinn knows all the history he didn't talk about. Over the birds. About the caverns either. They either thought he might have been thinking about them, too. I know I was. It was along about April. I gave my big report on his story of the Crazy Horse Memorial. I laid it on thick about George Armstrong Custer. How he was no hero, even in the Black Hills. The next kid up, the Max Carver, and he stood in front of class, glared at me, then announced the big topic of his report. It was about an ancestor of his mother's side, a cavalry officer who rode and died with Custer. Oh no. How was I to know? Every kid in class, even the teacher, turned and looked at me. They knew I was for it. I never got beat up or anything like that. Maybe if I had, it would have been over with like Max told me, after school, we're never going to forget this, Steely. And they never had. Come back next time for chapter 13. Let's see what page we're on. We're on 82 already. Let's see how much pages there are. Boys. There's 185. So like 100. So yeah, about 100 we will get there eventually, but not today, guys. That was chapter 12 of Go Big or Go Home. I'm your host, Michael, and like and subscribe. Baba Booey. Bye.